Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. We're doing free agent predictions, free agent talk, free agent, free agents, free agents, free agents. Let's do it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin' Baseball. Off-season episode number 2 or 3 or 4. Or definitely 2 or 3, actually. Canceled to 4. My name's Jimmy. I got Jake sitting right next to me. Trevor Plouffe coming to you from California. Producer Bug Dude in the corner. And we're doing free agents. We were supposed to do free agents last episode. And we were supposed to spend only a little bit on the qualifying offers. Instead, we did a whole episode on the qualifying offers and pushed free agents to today. Jake, who's your favorite free agent ever?
Ooh. Ever? Bernie Williams.
Cool. Trev?
Bernie Williams?
Yeah.
He never got signed. Well, he did. He did.
By the Yanks.
Brought him back.
Was Ken Griffey Jr. ever a free agent? Like, I still think it's weird he finished with the
I
Reds.
think so. He signed there, or was he traded there? I think he signed.
If you trade Ken Griffey, it's pretty bad, Seattle. So he
Yeah.
must have been a free agent, right?
Who's the last player to play 10-plus years and never be a free agent? Jeter? There's got to be more. Trout's
Joe
technically
Mauer.
never been a
Trout.
free agent. Mauer?
Joe Mauer, yeah.
Joker Joe Mauer.
Technically, the Mariners did trade him.
Ryan Braun.
Felix Hernandez? I don't know.
Brownie.
He's a free agent now.
Yeah? Where's he
Trev,
going,
new
Trev?
cut. New cut.
You know, it's been a week or so, but yeah, looking good.
You look great.
Thanks.
That's Trevor. Trevor's got his Wall Street like stockbroker look going today. With the hair. With the hair.
You know what? I have him as the guy that walks like he's like the second in command of the Wall Street dickhead, really rich in like the perfect suit, and Trev's in the hoodie and the fresh cut, and you think he's muscle, and then by the end of the movie, you're like, oh, he was the brains the whole time. It's kind of a Jax Hunnin situation.
Huge.
Yeah.
Damn, I kind of like where this is going. guys.
Excited
Keep
for
going.
you.
Yeah. Well, speaking also, we have news.
John Heyman is reporting the Red Sox.
Hold on, let me guess it. The Red Sox are in on Springer,
Not free agency.
Peterson. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sam Fold.
Good guess.
Sam Fold and Alex Cora are the 2 finalists.
Oh,
Well-
boy. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Fold season.
We've been a Sam Fold
Another
podcast.
place- Another time where Jomboy Media had it first.
I mean, you said this like a while ago, and I didn't think it was anywhere close to being real. Didn't you say this a long time ago, Trev? That like
Yes,
Fold
the
was
Heim
going to be in the
connect.
mix?
As soon as Heim went to the Red Sox. And I made sure I said, Sam, you're not doing any interviews.
Podcast
for
interviews.
us. Podcast. Yeah, he might do the
Yeah.
rounds.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of big things, our most recent patrons, Marcus Visto, Indigo Montana, Mark Badia, Moesha Walker, Moyanse is what it says there, Alex L., and Nico Esparza. Thank you very much for supporting the cause, which is being able to talk about baseball.
Huge.
Doesn't rank high on causes. It really doesn't rank. It's never ranked. It's never placed.
This is not a talking baseball show. Haven't you listened to JD? We're bringing people joy,
Love.
entertainment,
Neck
Sex.
kisses.
sexy hosts, me and Jake,
Sexy hosts.
and BBD, and
Sex.
Jimmy.
I don't want that.
Sex. It's one of those things, if you say it enough, then the people are like, yeah.
I went through my bag of hats today.
Yeah, you did.
And I picked out 2 hats, and I was like, I'm going to try these on in the mirror, see if they fit, because I'd wear these.
Yeah.
Because I've been wearing the same hat for like a while now. I just tried them
Yeah.
on. They didn't fit right, so.
Damn.
Isn't that the weirdest
Back in
thing?
the
is
bag.
You get hats,
Yeah.
and some hats you're just like, this hat is not meant for my head.
So many hats are too deep for my head.
Yes, like too tall.
Too tall. Yeah, and then I look like
I feel the
I look
same
like
way,
Joe
dude.
Torre. Yeah.
And then, in a way, I mean, aren't the hats almost symbolic of this upcoming free agency?
Yeah,
Oh,
because they
my
got to have the right
goodness.
fit. Well,
Wow.
all right. So the free agent stuff, we have this last episode. If you join us, we all have to choose 3 guys that we think are going to a new team, and we have to say what team we think they're going to. So we have that prepped. Do we need to do like just a rundown of the top 10 first, just to give anyone indication, or will our game breathe enough conversation about those guys?
I think the game should be the end. I think that should be the whammy. I think people are here for that.
There's no way the game takes less than 40 minutes. 0 chance.
Ooh,
3 players each, 3 teams each.
Oh, I think it's just quick.
Give me a
I think they're going here. And then we say, oh, yeah, they could.
I just don't know.
Can I get a
Qualifying
pass?
offer was supposed to be quick. It took us 40 minutes.
Oh, that was the second half of the show. Hit the passing button, Beavers. He's asking for it. Oh.
I like
Passing. Got it.
Thank you. I mean, Bob Nightingale is saying they're trying to trade Francisco Lindor by opening day, though. That's different.
Can we reverse the passing?
Yeah.
Nassip.
I love it. I love it because I think it's true. I think it's true. This is not a Bobby. Even though, yes, Bobby mentioned me in his last article, so I'm feeling good about Bobby. Trev.
We don't
You're doing.
You're gonna regret that BBD right there.
We don't
That noise you
Nightingale.
just made.
Trev, you
We
don't
don't Nightingale.
like even if Nightingale's right on this one, it's just like you don't want to go stand in the same line as Bob Nightingale when it comes to reporting stuff. You just don't.
He did just get Tony La Russa right way before anyone else.
Which adds up
But
because
it's
they're both.
also the first time I can remember him ever being right about
and even
anything at
then, you
first.
just don't want to put yourself
Yeah.
in his corner. You don't want to be like, I agree with Bob.
We just don't.
It's just a
Nightingale
tough
here.
thing.
It's just we don't do it. But I do. I mean, Lindor gets traded. We'll do that when Lindor gets traded. How about that?
I'm just telling you guys, this is me talking with
Huge.
Bob backing it up.
You just need like
other dudes.
you need another guy
Yeah.
besides Bob to jump on that.
Bob and me are tight now. He mentioned me in his last article.
What'd he say about
we're
you?
the best. He referenced a tweet of mine how I'm the only one that's upset about Hinch being hired.
I like reading Trevor Plouffe stuff. He's got a lot of good takes.
You Ron?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Well,
sorry.
thank you, Trevor, for the update from probably baseball's worst reporter.
Bob, I'm not saying that, Bob. Me and you.
There's worse.
Yeah, there are. Sorry, Bob.
He seems
the
like a
guys
nice
that-
guy.
All the guys that you want to reference, and Jeff Passan too, they all make mistakes, say shit that's not true. Sorry for cussing.
Yeah, but some do it more than others. Every pitcher
Yeah,
strikes
you're right.
people out, but, Scherzer strikes out a lot more than Max Muncy. If he was a pitcher. A little fat.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Last time Max Muncy pitched, I bet he struck out a bunch of people.
All right. Well, let's.
I think we name the impact free agents by position because I think we do that tidy because there's only a couple at each position if we're being really honest.
Yeah.
I mean, like catcher, it's Romuto, and then I think James McCann has an argument.
Romuto, and then whoever doesn't get him is going to go after McCann.
I think McCann might make out well. I know.
And who's the other catcher?
I mean, Yachty's
Flowers,
around.
Castro,
Yachty.
Yachty.
Whoever doesn't get Realmuto is going to go after McCann or Yachty. But Realmuto has to fall first before those guys go. He will set. I think that's what's interesting. Like, what free agent in this position has to go first? Like, McCann is sitting there being like, all right, once Realmuto signs somewhere, then it's my turn.
I think Jason Castro has a real shot at landing somewhere quickly. He's a guy that has his frame rate as well. Is that even the right term? I have no idea.
Sure.
But guys like throwing to him. So I think that's when you're a catcher. A lot of these guys aren't going to go in and be starters, I don't think. And maybe they will be splitting time, whatever. But you're looking for someone that can command a pitching staff, help you develop your pitching staff. So I think some of these guys like the Yachties, the Castros even the Robinson Chirinos I'm looking now, those guys will land somewhere.
There's a whole tier of MLB catchers that are going to play 50 to 80 games because that's how the catcher position works. I mean, Jason Castro, Wilson Ramos, Alex Avila, Chirino, Stephen Voigt. Like, there's a crew there that, those guys are going to be MLB players. Stephen Voigt, did he do, was he sequenced?
Is that John Voight's son?
Yes.
Vote.
Okay.
Vote. Get out there and vote. I just didn't want to get political, but you always fucking go there.
I went to a
Trev.
wedding.
Part of-
I went to a wedding with him once.
It's Real Muto.
Friend of the pod.
I think McCann's going to get paid, man. McCann had a pretty nice year last year. In the last 2 seasons, he's figured something out where he's a nice ball player.
He's one of those guys that, like, he's a catcher, and he's like, I guess he's smart. I don't really know him, but he's one of those guys that everyone's like, he's going to be a manager one day.
Didn't
So
Giolito
give
him a ton of love?
Get that, yeah, he was talking very highly about him. But once you get that praise, it stays with you forever, bro, and it helps you in free agency like this. Teams are gonna be like, oh, that guy, he can help us. He's smart. Da 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 da. It's like having an extra coach that helps him.
There's going to be some dumb Yachty rumors this offseason, huh?
I could care less.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's going to re-sign, and he's going to whine about whatever happens to him. And then Cardinals fans are going to get mad at me for saying that. And that's...
I didn't say that. St. Louis, I did not say that.
I said it, and they will get
Jimmy
mad at me.
said it.
Yachty is an incredible catcher. All of his ancillary stuff is so annoying.
You're not into it.
Not into it.
I
Well,
like
you like
it.
his catcher's gear, though.
I like his catcher's gear. I like his on-the-field presence sometimes. But the whole...
I like that he throws the bases without looking at them. I like that.
Ooh, no look. I don't know. The catchers...
It is a bummer, though, that they didn't vote him for Gold Glove because they didn't want him to get 10 because... Who has 10? Bench?
Somebody has 10?
Pudge? I don't know.
That's what he said on Instagram. He deleted it since. He was like, they didn't vote for me because they don't want me to get 10. Like, is it Pudge or is it Ben? I don't know.
Can you imagine getting 10 Gold Gloves?
No.
Like, what the fuck?
I
dude?
can't.
No.
I haven't even gotten one.
Part of that is the other catchers must have just sucked. I'm sorry.
First base, there's a couple old birds who I think are going to get contracts. Carlos Santana. I think the other guy is Mitch Moreland. I think if you get either of those dudes on your team, you get yourself excited about it. I mean, Santana gets on base with power. Moreland put together a pretty nice year last year, and he's found a nice little niche as at least your platoon guy. But other than that,
Those don't really do much for me.
yeah, I mean, even that's kind of
This is where we're gonna run into that. It's a bad year. I don't think those guys get deals. I think they do get deals. I don't think they get guaranteed major league.
Yeah, they don't fall into my, like, watch out for these guys category.
like Carlos Santana.
And I want to say this. They should. These guys should get major league contracts. I'm saying this is the year where they might not, because teams are non-tendering at a crazy clip, and they're going to drive all the prices down. These guys, Carlos Santana, Mitch Moreland, I'm going to say right now, probably most likely either going to have to settle for a very low number guaranteed deal or a minor league deal with incentive-laden contract.
I mean, Santana's career is very, very good.
He led the league. He led the league in walks this year. He didn't have his best hitting year, but he's a year removed from winning the Silver Slugger. 34 homers, 108 walks, 911 OPS the year before. I think Santana gets a contract. Moreland, I think you could be right. I mean, for a guy that plays one position, is probably platoon at this point in his career and is 35 years old. But I think a team could get excited about Santana. He was almost one of my predictions. He was not.
Silver Slugger, if you move the L around, you could be called the Sliver Slugger, which sounds fun. That's all I've been thinking about since you said it.
It's true. Trev?
Next position.
And we lost him. He cut out intentionally.
Whoa.
We got him back. He did not like the Sliver Slugger joke. He's gone again. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Second base is
It
actually...
wasn't a joke, just a thing of note. Sliver Slugger.
Second base is fun.
Okay.
I think impact, again,
Colton Wong.
It's DJ LeMahieu. He's had a very special 2 years in New York. And that's not Yankee stuff. I mean, he's been pretty incredible. He's one of the few players who got the qualifying offer. Going to be an interesting free agent to track. Does a team really throw the bag at him? Is he going back to New York? We'll see. And then there's a lot of pieces that, like, if this is how I'll describe it. If you hosted an individual podcast on that team, you'd be kind of excited about these free agents. Like Colton Wong,
Okay.
Jonathan Villar, Cesar Hernandez, Tommy LaStella,
Your level of guys you want to talk about is much bigger than the level of guys I want to talk about.
Well, I mean, DJ LeMahieu's the only clear tier. I'm just saying at the second base, there's a second tier that I was just labeling as guys. If you hosted a podcast on this team and you signed Colton Wong, you'd be like, all right, let's go. He can pick it at second. He's going to get on base at a 350 clip.
Talk yourself into it. I think
a little bit.
No initial excitement, and then you're like, who'd we get? Oh, okay. Oh, and then you get yourself excited. DJ is the only guy.
He's the only stud.
Yeah.
He's the only stud. Trevor Plouffe, are you back, Big Daddy?
I'm back. Okay.
We're just saying about second base. LeMahieu's the stud out there. We've done that. He got the qualifying offer. Interesting free agency. I think there's a tier of that second deck that's guys you get yourself excited for. We labeled. If your team signed them, like you would get yourself excited about Colton Wong. Like he's a nice second baseman. Jonathan Villar. He's put up some big WAR years. Cesar Hernandez on base and defense. Even your guy LaStella, hot Italian.
Scope.
I'm going to say the same thing. Colton Wong is going to get a contract. The rest of the guys, they're going to be very small, 1-year deals or a minor league invite to spring training with an incentive-laden contract. That's just the way it's going to go this year, man.
I don't think anyone's getting themselves excited for VR.
He's a guy that racks up WAR and steals. Like that's what I'm saying. If you hosted a podcast on that team in VR sign, you'd be like, yeah, he's a little versatile. He swipes bags.
It's a
Talk
good
yourself
bench
into
player.
it,
It's a
for
good
sure.
bench player. You know who could use him? Like a team like the Dodgers.
Ooh.
You know, something like that,
See ya,
where they
TK.
don't need a lot, but having him on the bench is a huge plus.
See a keek the
Something like that.
What
You have
position are we
Muncy
doing
playing
next?
second base right now. Like, hey, we can put VR in there. Turner's getting a little old if they re-sign him.
I like VR being a good player on a bad team.
Stay with the Marlins.
But maybe
See,
I've
I don't
talked,
like that.
Maybe I've talked
I don't think
myself
that's
into
going to
that.
happen. I don't think a lot of bad teams are going to go out there and sign guys to play.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, me neither. I think they're just going to roll with young guys. Like I think majority of the teams think about, should we sign VR to be a roving infielder or should we just call up someone? I think majority say let's just call someone up.
And that's kind of what I'm
That's just the
saying
state of
too. Is
baseball.
I think if I was like what you guys are saying, I agree with, and that's why I think a team would be like, hey, let's give VR our starting shortstop job and see if he could rack up a 4 WAR. Like I think.
Yeah, but you know, I get that because then you'd want to flip him. But I think there's going to be so many options for teams to fill needs at a very cheap rate that the trade deadline this year is going to be like, except for maybe a high-quality starting pitcher, high-quality bullpen guy. But I think a lot of teams are going to be able to fill their needs very cheaply this offseason.
No one wanted to trade for Brad Hand for $10 million. I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of trades.
could use a Brad Hand. Justin Turner is the only third baseman that jumps out at all, and obviously he's been looked at a lot since the World Series. But I mean, it's a pretty specific situation. He's 36 now. I mean, is it Dodgers or like an AL team where he can DH a little bit
Dodgers.
too?
It's Dodgers.
Yeah, he's back.
It's Dodgers. Ken Rosenthal was like, is this going to affect the Dodgers dealing with him? Like, what are you talking about, Ken? They were like there with him. Making
I like
these
Ken a
decisions.
lot. That list really weirded me out.
Yeah.
I like Ken a lot. And all the grandstanding and weirdness about that is it's gotten too far. I understand the initial outrage. And it was a terrible sore eye and terrible look for MLB and for the Dodgers and for Turner. But like,
Everyone's takes at this point are to scratch somebody's back.
yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
And you're either scratching
ours.
MLB or you're
Not
scratching
ours.
Turner's.
Yeah.
And that's just honest.
Why would they bet?
I think my biggest takeaway from this is third baseman, there's not really an
You
answer
could sign
out there.
DJ and put him at third if you want.
You can. I guess there's a couple guys like that, but I mean, like, again, if I'm a baseball team and there's a hole at second base and my team were to sign a VR or Colton Wong, I'd be like, that's a solution for this year. Third base, there's not a lot. So I don't know. That's kind of my takeaway there. The outfielders, I mean, it's Ozuna.
Jock.
He's going to have a fun free agency. Jock, Michael Brantley, if you technically still label him there.
Springer's the number one.
Springer's
Is
the
Ozuna
dude.
considered an outfielder anymore?
I think so. I think he played enough games out there this year. I mean,
And whatever DH you could ever.
he's clearly getting over that hill, but you can still slot him in for, most of the season in the right. Like I'll go look it up now, but I want to say he was out there enough to still be labeled an outfielder.
Okay.
Have the mansplain girls yell at us.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are some really good outfielders available. I think it's going to be really interesting to see where some of these guys go. Springer's obviously the big one. I think if I'm looking overall at the players that are available, just do position players, I think Springer's probably my favorite free agent. I just like, when you look at him, you're like, this guy can go do it for like another 5 years, no problem. Like, he's not slowing down. I like his attitude. He's to me, like, out of the whole Houston thing, he's like the most lovable guy. Like, I still like him. Jim, you and him, speech impediment bros. Like, he's like overcoming that. Gotta love. I honestly, when I found that out about him, I was like, I love you so much more.
Yeah, that's same with me. Same with me.
He was too like good and holier than thou. Like, and then that kind of brought him down to like a real person for me, and I fell in love. So I love Springer.
Yeah, tell my second grade teacher that I talk for a living now, and she'd be like, that guy?
Does he get the biggest contract this free agency? Probably, right? Because it's him, Realmuto, or Bauer.
I think Realmuto.
Yeah, it depends what Bauer wants to do. But yeah, those three for sure.
Yeah, and Springer, I always like a center fielder at his age. You know, he can, what they were doing in Astros games, they'd kick him over to right to finish the game. So, you know, he could have a kind of a second career where he can be a really good defensive corner outfielder if the wheels start to go on him a little more. Brantley, I feel like he's got to go AL because he's got a DH. I feel like what you're saying about Ozuna, I feel like Brantley's a year or two ahead of that.
Yep.
And then I don't know.
Where did I read?
What'd you read, Jim?
There was someone predicted Brantley to a team. Damn it, I forget.
Okay.
Maybe it was back to the Indians.
Ooh.
But I didn't know.
Someone said the Braves, and I thought that was interesting.
Maybe that was what I read.
Like another professional hitter on that team would be, I mean, would just make that
like
lineup
that.
tough.
We can talk about Braun. He's been kind of getting some play on MLB Network because.
Did you hit him up yet, Trev?
I mean, I talk to him all the time. I mean, I know what he's thinking. I don't want to share it without his permission, but you know, I think that a lot of teams are going to be looking at him to see if they can get him for a cheap 1-year deal.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to consider a lot of different teams. I'll say that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And then, I mean, no other. Oh, I did skip the shortstops. I'm trying to look at other outfielders. Adam Eaton, your guy's a free agent, Jim. A little pesky. Be a fun sign for some team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Jake, I'm thinking you're on the MLB site where they're listing them as well because you're kind of going in the same order here that I'm looking at. I don't see many of outfielders that are going to get like guaranteed deals.
JBJ?
I love JBJ. And cool story.
Okay.
On Twitter, he was kind of like complaining about like, he's like, how do I get better? How do I improve my defensive numbers?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to do that. Like, no one's ever told me. So I hit him up. I tweeted, I said, hey, dude, like, hit up Mark Simon because I did that and he helped me. And then they ended up having like a 45-minute phone call. And Mark had some suggestions for him. I talked to
Your dude, Mark Simon, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
pretty
Trev,
cool.
We love a good nerd.
Can you open that up for me? Mark Simon's like a stats guy. Like he likes the analytics,
very much
right?
so,
He's
yeah.
a very smart baseball numbers guy. You called him up to ask how you can improve your numbers?
Yeah, so 2015 or 14, I don't know, one of those years, I felt like I was playing really good defense and my numbers were like not showing that. I was like, dude, I feel really good. So like I'd seen him on Twitter and I DM'd him. I said, hey man, like, can you like help explain this to me? Because at the time, the Twins analytical office, like front office, was very small. I think there was like I think there was one guy. And so we talked, and I told you guys this story before. He told me to move. He's like, dude, too many balls are going down the line. Just plate the line a little bit more. Did that, had a good year defensive numbers wise. So JBJ was saying that. I said, hey, hit up this guy, Mark. He's the only one that that helped me. Like maybe he can help you. And so they had a phone call together, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That's very interesting. That's a tidbit I didn't know, that Mark Simon gets hit up and helps players. It's cool.
It's weird, man.
Well, just me.
Well, I'm sure that he's been hit up before. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, take a job as the team. Simon.
It's crazy that players have to think that way. Like,
Yeah, dude,
JBJ, Kiermaier.
We have an interview coming up with Hearn next week while we're on vacation. We have 2 interviews prepped for you guys coming out next week. And one is Taylor Hearn. And a little preview, I was looking at all his baseball savant numbers and like the percentage of the pitches he's thrown and what righties slug against this pitch. And he was like, where are you getting this from? And then he DM'd me afterwards. He was like, dude, can you send me the link to those numbers? So I sent it to him. I'm like, you don't know this? How are teams not telling their guys this?
This is why I've been so high on Sam Fuld. Like, that is the exact reason. Like, the liaison between front office and clubhouse, like, that is a very important role. He's been fulfilling that with the Phillies. The front office, when they have these numbers, it's weird. Like, they'll show them to you, you'll game plan, but like, how do you improve these numbers? That's what players want to know. And front offices should want to give that information, but for some reason it gets lost somewhere along the line. You don't have a lot of times where you're sitting down and saying, this is something that you can improve on, and here's how you can improve on it. They don't do that often. The good teams probably do. And if you're really inquisitive about it and you go on your own and maybe ask, they probably will. But for the vast majority of players, they're not getting that information. So you telling Taylor Hearn that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
That's why I'm high on Jomboy for manager.
Jimmy Liddix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Red Sox.
No.
Break them from within.
I mean, just
write a book.
The Twitter exchange, like JBJ going on Twitter and being like, can someone explain to me how I get better defensive analytical numbers? Like, that to me is hilarious.
It's nuts. Weird world.
We got a lot of pitchers to talk about, but first, let me tell you a little bit about DraftKings. The season is in full swing, and the action is still unfolding, so head over to DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. With so many storylines across both professional and college sports, this is the time to check out all that DraftKings Sportsbook has to offer. If you haven't tried the app yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. To celebrate Sunday's action, DraftKings is ensuring all new users are covered up to $100. That's right. You bet. They cover with risk-free Sunday betting. This weekend, there's plenty of action to get in on, so head to the app now and start making it rain. Trev, what game of the Sunday slate do you have your eye on?
I've bet a few.
Your Seahawks are playing the Bills this weekend, Trev. That's a fun
Seattle
one.
in Buffalo. Yeah. They're a 3-point favorite. I don't love that game.
Okay. I don't think a Seahawk could beat a Bill, but I think it could frustrate the hell out of it. I don't think a Bill has any ability to beat a Seahawk, grab it out of the air. I don't think they can even really get on their hind lanes to do that. But anyway.
I think if there's enough Seahawks, they could take down a Buffalo.
Yeah,
Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. Bills.
Trick a couple Bills off a cliff or something?
Oh, you could do that. I mean, that's how they used to hunt buffalo on the
Free
plains.
money.
On top of those great sign-up offers, DraftKings offers great odds boosts every Sunday to help you make it rain. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure, making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code JOMBOY when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. DraftKings Sportsbook is insuring your Sunday bets up to $100. That's right. You bet. They cover up to $100 when you use promo code JOMBOY during sign-up for a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey only. Risk-free coverage paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Bang.
Pitchers. What you got?
Jim, before we get there, real quick, because I did skip a position. Well, Nelson Cruz, he hasn't been mentioned. He's a monster. Most likely back to Minnesota. Would, Trev, not to be rude to you, if he ends up in another lineup, I'd be interested.
I don't like that every prediction has Cruz just going back to the Twins.
Damn.
Well, I mean, I think he really liked his time there, and they kind of have been able to talk to him before any other team. So
they let his posse of friends hang out.
Yeah, it just seems like he's such a one-year grab. Like other teams are going to be interested. It's not like he can fit on any lineup.
It would be cool. I think what Jimmy's saying, it would be cool if he 1 year vagabond on another team.
Yankees.
Just to change things.
No, we can't.
The Blue Jays.
Stan's the DH, locked up.
If he jumped in with the Blue Jays in the middle of all those young guys.
That'd be awesome.
Nelson Cruz does have a cool effect if he goes somewhere else. At the same time, I think he is a good fit with Minnesota.
I like the traveling 1 year Nelson Cruz.
Who wants to pay me to hit 40 bangers?
Yeah. But I'm fine if the Braves get him. And I do think that's leaning that way. But when I was searching predictions, everyone It's just like, he'll be back.
And the other position we missed, which actually has 3 interesting options. Trev, your shortstop position, Simeone, Gregorius, and Simmons, who Andrelton is the king of defensive analytics. You know, Didi kind of does it on both sides. He had a nice little bounce back this year. Simeone, the year before this, was a MVP candidate. He had a weird 60 games, but
I've talked myself into that the Yankees do not get DJ. If someone else grabs him, they will get Simmons.
really?
Yep.
Okay.
I've talked myself into that.
I like that.
I have
Trev.
a weird feeling there too, Jim.
Ooh, in his pants.
It's not my lock because I want them to get DJ. I think they're going to try their hardest. I do not think the Yankees are going to roll with the Glaber at short, especially with Simeone out there and Iglesias out there. And these guys are going to be cheap one-year deals.
No. Not these guys.
Everyone's
could
predicting
be. I don't
Simmons
know
for
about
one.
cheap.
Everyone's predicting
I don't know
Simmons.
about
I think
cheap
Simmons
ones.
is 1 year.
That's what I mean. Simmons. Did I say Simeone? I meant Yankees Simmons.
You went back and forth a couple times, so I didn't know.
I have my weird feeling about Simmons and thought you said Simmons, but
Andrelton.
Yes.
Simeone is going to be cheaper than we thought.
Yeah, because he had a down year. It's kind of shitty.
It's 60 games. He was MVP for 162 the
I
year
know.
before
yeah,
that.
Yeah. But the market's down.
I know.
I think Iglesias
I
and
think
Simmons
he's a
are-
great guy too, and he's like, any organization's probably like looking at him and like, we would love to have this guy. He does everything right, like the way he practices, you know, the way he approaches the game. But they're going to be able to drive down his price, dude. Like, I think that's going to be a common theme here. Maybe a few guys, the top guys, they'll get what they've earned. The rest of the guys is going to be a suppressed free agent market. We all know that. So
I like
Simeone, couple years, 2-3 years, 15 a year. I think 15 is going to be a real nice little number for the teams this year.
I kind of like all these guys in 2-year deals. I think, and I don't know if it's a team option or if it's just 2 years straight up, but I think they want a little security, and I think the teams are kind of going to get deals on these guys. Good shortstops don't hit free agency. I did some weird research on it. I think these guys, they're not going to get paid. They're not getting the bag, but I could see them getting taster deals.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's 1 year for Simmons and Iglesias either.
Yeah, Iglesias for sure.
And Simmons has a connection with the Yankees because Epler is was the Angels GM who loved Simmons.
Yeah.
And he came from the Yankees front office and have the same way of thinking. So if they don't get DJ, I've been thinking that.
and I think people think Epler might come back to the Yankees in some capacity because Cashman is still like best friends with him.
Yeah.
Always
I've
Yankees.
heard that.
Always Yankees. Anyway.
Always Yankees. The throwers, Jim.
Yeah, go to
Your
him.
guys.
Bauer's the top of it.
Bauer's the one. We all already know about that free agency. If you don't follow at Big Baby David,
He
he'll keep you
declined
up to
the
date.
offer.
Declined it. Charlie Morton, old man Charlie, actually leads the WAR list in the past couple years, but he's kind of got a pretty specific situation. His family's in the Tampa
I've got him on
area.
my list. He's one of my 3.
He's on Jimmy's list. Jimmy thinks he's going to bail on the Tampa area. That would surprise me because he specifically chose that. Tanaka, our guy, he's got a weird situation. Stroman, we talked about that a little bit with the qualifying offer. And then, yeah, I mean, there's a couple 4 or 5 starters that you'd like to fill out your rotation with. I mean, Jose Quintana, James Paxton, Jake Odorizzi, Trev's guy. And then you get into the old man crew, Lester Hamels, that you're like,
Got anything on these guys, Trev?
I mean, yeah, I'm again like in a regular year, I think we could project these so much easier, but this is just not a regular year. You know, obviously Bauer's the guy. Odorizzi, I'm really interested to see what happens with him. I think he's in a kind of a crappy position, but he does have numbers like and a track record. The team could still say, hey, we can get a couple years out of him. And, I think the going rate for a quality starting pitcher this offseason is probably going to be 10. Mm-hmm. Like a quality starting pitcher is probably like a 10 a year guy. Instead of it probably should be like a 14 to 15 a year guy. But I could see a lot of these guys, Tanaka, Quintana, Morton getting something like that. 1 year.
It's real funny how bad the market is. I mean,
1 year, 8 to
COVID
10.
happened, but I mean, pitchers used to just get paid. Like Phil Hughes, our buddy. Jake and I had a big bet in college on how much he was going to get when he was done with the Yankees, and he had a bad last year, so it kind of messed up the whole bet because it was like if he does the same thing,
or that's what I predicted, and I got it
he
right.
He went 324, and then first year in Minnesota went off, and then our agent went to Terry Ryan, the GM, and was like, you know what? You see how good this was? You're going to want to extend him. He did. I think he got an additional.
Yeah. Then he got the contract that
56.
Yeah, and that's what I would. Yeah. Young 22-year-old Jake and Jim just debating over Phil Hughes' future contract. It's like a big thing we did for a while. Like it was a lot.
And then he made you guys breakfast burritos at his house.
Full circle.
Those were good. Yeah, and pickle and peanut butter sandwiches.
Then I Venmo'd him pretty high and drunk at 3 a.m. Yeah, I don't know. Wainwright's on there again. Another old guy situation. I don't know. It's Bauer.
Waino and Yachty both went to another team.
What's Gaussman going to get?
I think everyone everyone around MLB baseball is just looking at him and San Fran and like, you guys figure it out.
Do whatever you're doing.
Because you guys kind of went against the plan.
Dude.
Well, the San Fran.
The owners are probably mad at them.
San Fran goes against the plan. Remember when no one was signing people and they were like, give us McCutcheon and give us Longoria and give us, they got someone else to forget. Like, yeah, we'll take all those guys. So San Fran's doing their own thing. What was I going to say?
Fires, Robbie Ray.
Yeah, no.
Robbie Ray finally hits free agency.
And this collection is different than like when I said Romuto needs to go before the other catchers go. I think these pitchers can go in whatever order. It's actually kind of like Bauer's up top, so whatever they do below him, it's going to be, they might just start grabbing guys.
Yeah.
Kind of like how you saw, Happ and Morton go, and you saw Wheeler go, and stuff like that before the Cole and before the Corbins of that.
There's a couple fun flyer guys on the list. Are your guys' guy, Chris Archer, Taijuan Walker, who I think earned himself a couple dollars in Toronto. He's got stuff.
Kluber.
Teams will fall in love with that. Someone will give Kluber a one-year feeler, but it's Bauer, it's Stroman. It might be Gausman, but everyone's...
Kluber's going to be
People
like...
are rumoring that.
I'm down. I have him as like a spring training invite deal. Like if he makes the team.
Free, why
I
not?
don't think so.
I heard some behind-the-scenes stuff. Trev, you have to go look. I heard some behind-the-scenes stuff that like...
The stuff's not there.
Attitude?
I heard it way back, and it's been true since. No, not attitude-wise. That like he cannot throw anymore.
Could be.
Like,
yeah. A team. I mean, he's a 1-year flyer, couple million attached with incentives.
Yeah.
And I actually really like this reliever crop. Liam Hendrix, Kirby Yates, Brad Hand, Ozuna, Workman, Giles, Melanson, Soria, Shane Green, Trevor May, Andrew Chafin. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Jim, your guy Ian Kennedy.
Doolittle. Did you get Doolittle?
I think Doolittle's on there. Is Trinan on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trinan.
On there. Sergio Romo, Brandon Kinsler. These guys are all still effective relievers. This is where teams are going to be going bargain shopping. They are going to. I think these guys go first.
Dave Roberts
before anybody else.
Robertson.
I think relievers start going off the board quickly.
On to Avalon.
Luis Avalon's a free agent?
He's on the list.
Luis
Mentioned
Avalon.
bargain shopping.
Yeah, I wonder if this is like in fantasy baseball when the first person to take a reliever and then everyone in the whole league is like, fuck, we're doing relievers? Okay.
Yeah.
And then like you go through 2 rounds, and everyone just picking the relievers like, all right, can we get back to normal now? That might be the free agency. All the owners just like, fine, give them.
How about Ozuna's a free agent, 26.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think we should just go straight into our
Let's
predictions.
do it.
I'll go first.
Here we go.
If
Are you
you-
doing all 3? Are we going around the horn?
I'll give my first one, and it's almost like when Trev predicted the Rays and everyone was predicting the Rays. It's like everyone's on this.
These are guaranteed
Hold
locks,
on.
by the way. We are betting all of our money on
You were
this.
first,
No,
Trev.
no,
You were
no,
first.
no,
You were
no.
first. You were first.
You
You
were
were first. You
first.
were first.
And everyone else.
And everyone else.
People are like, wow, that guy's a fucking genius.
I like Trevor Bauer.
Whatever.
Spikes.
The Mets have to get Realmuto.
Okay, you're in on that.
Like, I know it's everywhere. It's kind of the
Wow.
same as Cruz going back to the Twins. It's everywhere. He's the best catcher.
yeah.
Listen to these stats I brought up. The Mets need a catcher.
Ooh.
They declined all their options on all their catchers.
Ramos,
They have great pitching.
Chirinos.
They need a catcher. Catching scarcity exists.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of top-tier catchers, like, at all. That's why I think Realmuto might get the best contract, because
Okay.
there's the number 2, McCann, is so far below him, whereas pitching, relievers, other position players, you can settle for a second tier. If you want a good catcher, there's one option, Realmuto. The Mets need him. The Mets are the most flush, and they need a catcher super bad. They Ali Sanchez and some, like, they don't have anyone.
Yeah.
They're signing a catcher.
Yeah.
Realmuto, 2017 to 2020, Jake.
Yes.
First in at-bats, first in plate appearances, first in runs, first in hits, first in doubles, first in triples, first in RBIs, first in stolen bases, third in batting average, fifth in slugging, third in OPS out of all catchers. He's just like,
He's a stud.
it's almost like if the Mets don't get him, I think it's, what are you doing?
I like.
You gotta outbid, and you gotta bring him. And also, I think it's an easy, hey, you want to catch DeGrom?
It's an easy win. He's your leader. He's the catcher. You're taking him from the Phillies. I like it. I somehow think they miss out. Dude, all that Harper Phillies stuff is really in my head. Like, I think if you're the Phillies, you almost mentally lose Bryce Harper. That's your biggest investment if you let Realmuto walk. So I'm still
agree with
They
Jake
probably
there,
bring in
too.
Yachty because Joe Girardi's probably such a big Yachty fan, and they're like, "Look, we got a hard-working Philly guy."
I think the Mets are going to make their splash elsewhere, but I like it. I mean, it could very easily happen.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jake. I think the Mets want to sign him. I think there's a plethora of teams that want to sign him, but Harper has been so vocal.
If you're
about
Steve
it.
Cohen and you're flashing your big ass wallet, and you get taller when you sit down, you got to go outpay everyone. Prove it. I don't give a fuck.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing is if I'm the Phillies owner, Middleton, if I'm like, okay,
Your friend.
here's a really good deal, my friend. Yeah, here's a really good deal. If the Mets want to come in and be crazy and offer him some crazy amount, and we can hamstring their payroll a little bit, fine. Then we'll go sign James McCann. But I think they're going to offer him, something comparable to what the MLB trade rumors has, a 5-year 120, 125. I think they'll offer him that, and then it's like up to Realmuto to say, do I want to stay in Philly?
No.
Or let's go see what else is out there. I think those are two comparable places to play. Philly and New York, especially on the Mets. Those two places are very comparable. It's the NL East, crazy media on either side, kind of crazy fan base on either side. So to me, they're very comparable.
No, what's hilarious with the Mets is, and we kind of talked about this with La Russa in a bad light. The White Sox owner wanted Tony La Russa. They got Tony La Russa. Cohen, you got the team. I think it's going to be like whichever big one he likes. Is it Bauer? Is it Realmuto? Is it Springer? Like whichever,
He has to flex
one,
on everyone. Otherwise, it's kind of all for naught.
whichever one he likes, they're getting. And I think that's it's kind of cool for Mets fans.
Yeah.
Trev, who's your first lock, dude? Who are the people
this
betting
is,
money
I'm
on?
going to group a few.
Okay.
We're going to stay with Philly.
Okay.
Talking about Philly, let's stay with Philly. Philly needs bullpen help.
Okay.
That match
Philly
is one of mine.
needs bullpen help. I think they're going to go out and get like 2 or 3 of these free agent relievers because I think you can get them for cheaper, and I think that is going to be an area that they're going to target, especially if they don't get Realmuto.
So I had the same thought process, Trev, but just give one name.
One name.
Because I had to choose
No,
one.
let me do 2.
Well, are those 2 of your 3?
Yeah, just let me give 2 of the 3 then, because I think they are going to go
Okay.
out and get a group of
Okay.
relievers.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And the one here is this was already mentioned. I don't know what site it was, but Liam Hendrix,
Sure. Heard of him.
and I think one of either Brad Hand or Trevor May. Trevor May came from the Phillies.
I like
or does he
Trevor
came from the
May.
Nationals? No, Phillies.
Didn't you say top 25 free agents yesterday? Last episode, you said we had to do top 25.
I didn't say that.
He's lumping it in.
I said
I'm
a
allowing
group of
it. I'm allowing
relievers.
it.
I think it's going to be Liam Hendrix, and then either like a Brad Hand, a Kinsler, or a Trevor May to back him up.
How about
I think they're going to go
So
out.
your final pick is Hendrix with an assist.
Yeah. Well, then I was going between Hendrix and Trinan to the Phillies, and I chose Trinan.
See, Trinan to me is not in that level either. So
Ooh.
he's not.
He's got a
But
couple
I
years
agree with
that
you.
could
I think
argue with that.
a guy like Hendrix, a top end reliever on the market, and not just one other guy. I think they're going to go after like 2 other guys, maybe 3 other guys. That's been such a down spot for them. They have to fill it. David Robertson, they said, see you later. You know, they didn't get anything out of the bullpen guys they thought they were going to get anything out of. So there I am.
I agree with the thought process completely. I just took a stab. I was Hendrix or Trinan.
I'll go Ken Giles. Okay, so new game we just stumbled into. We all have to pick a reliever the Phillies were signed. Trevor's on Hendrix.
Is Giles healthy and like good still?
Don't care. I think they signed him.
I think the Phillies need to go get like Trinan and Hendrix.
Oh, they need to get bodies.
And Doolittle.
This is almost illegal.
Yeah.
This is
They're
almost
going to
illegal.
go Liam Hendrix. They're going to go Alex Colomé. They might go Sergio Romo.
Soria. Pick them up.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They are. They're going to go after them.
They need to.
Yeah.
All right. Other teams will be on those guys as well, but
Trey?
the Phillies have a huge pressing need.
What's so I've given 2 of my 3. Trev's given 2 of his 3. What's one of your 3?
Okay. So I've got, which one do I want to go with? I'll stick with pitching. This was my lowest level pick. I've got 2 big boys above this. James Paxton to the Blue Jays. Canada boy. A team that needs pitching. And a team that kind of needs to take a little bit of risk on their pitching. James Paxton's had some injury history, but when he's right, he's still pretty nasty. And I think they need starting pitching. Canada's boy, a 1-year little taster deal, or maybe a 1 year with a nice little second option if he does look good. I just think they need pitching. He needs a safe spot for a year. He can stay in the AL East where he's been, go back, be a hometown hero, Paxton to the Blue Jays.
I like it. I had I told you guys before, and I wrote down 4 just in case we overlapped, and then said overlap was good.
I've got a bonus 4th if we need it.
Well, my bonus was Odo to the Blue Jays.
Ooh.
1 year
I like
deal.
Odo to the Blue Jays more than I like Paxton to the Blue Jays.
Okay, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Just saying.
On tape. We'll leak it.
Yeah.
That could help, huh?
We always get here.
Maybe.
We always get here.
Maybe.
All right, give another one of yours.
I'll go. Okay, sending it back. I've got 2 outfielders remaining. The first one, I'll save my big one.
Ooh, saving it.
Because I haven't seen a lot of it out there. But the one that I have seen a lot and I've bought into, Jock Peterson to the Cardinals. He's got those great numbers against righties. You can pair him up with Goldschmidt and those other young guys that are figuring it out. Edmund, who's Tyler O'Neill. But, I mean, what Jock Peterson does against right-handed pitching, I mean, he's a 900-plus OPS guy. You could bat him up top in the lineup. He hit leadoff for the Dodgers for all those years. You can slide him down a little bit. Pair him up with Goldschmidt. I mean, you can play him 130 games against right-handed starting pitchers, and he can be an impact bat for them. And I think St. Louis needs more. Jock Peterson, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get some good power, some good ABs. He finished the World Series nice after a weird regular season. Give me Jocktoberfest to the Cardinals.
Seeing that a lot. I tried to figure out an opinion on Jock, and I couldn't do it.
It's weird.
I saw
it's a lot of weird stats.
I saw it to the Giants, and I was like, why are the Giants picking up people? I don't know.
Well, the Giants, before Mookie extended with the Dodgers, people were picking them to sign him this winter when he was going to be a free agent. So I don't know, the expectation for a couple years is Giants were planning to spend this offseason, so that's probably why people are still picking him.
I get it, but yeah, okay. Trav, got anything on Jock?
I just saw this article is listing all these people, and they have James McCann going to the Phillies. I did not read this article before. Okay, that was my prediction. So I don't want people thinking we're just going off this article.
Close call there.
I don't have. I have a guy that I want to predict. I have no idea if this is going to come true.
Perfect.
That's
kind of what that's the whole
segment.
game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't even have any anything at all. But I'm just it's my head thinking here.
Okay.
Trevor
Perfect.
Bauer. I want to go for the big dog.
You're going for it. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Is that someone you guys were going to do?
No, don't care.
Okay.
I thought about
Here's
it, and
my
I was like,
thought
I don't care.
My thought process on Trevor Bauer. A couple things you got to take into account here. he's been talking about a 1-year deal for a long time. I don't think he is set on that
he came
anymore.
off that pretty hard already.
Yeah, I don't think he's set on. In fact, I think he wants to go out and get. He's not going to have a better year. There's no better platform here than he just had. Like, I get that there's going to be a little bit of a suppressed market, but him personally, probably never going to pitch that well again. Like, he was just lights out this year, probably going to win the NL Cy Young. I also think that he is going to strategically pick this for content purposes.
Oh, you're going Astros, huh?
No, I think that he's also going to think about taxes,
Mariners,
and how it affects him. So at first I was like, man, it's kind of a no-brainer. Let's take him to San Diego. He's going to be with Tatis and that whole crew. He's got Clev there. But the tax thing is kind of weird for me. He's one of those guys that will think about that. Does he want to give up 60% of his money? He is going to think about that.
I don't think he's an LA guy either.
Huh?
He's a Midwest boy. True and true.
He's Trevor Bauer. He's from Southern California.
Not in Jimmy's head, though.
Not in his head.
Not in Jimmy's head.
Okay, well, San Diego, if he doesn't care about taxes and whatnot, which I think he does, I think that he will go to San Diego. I think can they afford him? I don't know, but I think that that's a good landing spot for him. It's a chance for him to go win a World Series. I think also that's very important for him. So I'll say it's going to be the Padres, or if it is a 1-year deal,
It's not
Padres on a long-term deal. If it's a 1-year deal, and I'm going to copy this article I'm reading again, I think it's the Dodgers. Now, they have in the Dodgers in 4 years, 128. I don't think the Dodgers offer him a long-term deal. I think if they offer him a 1-year deal, 30-something, it's a great fit. And the Dodgers have a chance to win the World Series again, obviously, next year, and that's something that I think, would be really interested in. So those are my two places. I think he is going to stay out west. Longer-term deal, Padres, 1-year deal, Dodgers.
I like it. Yeah, I've seen the Padres stuff, and you can connect the dots there. Seen the Dodgers stuff. I don't know. In my head, I've convinced myself for some of the similar reasons you're saying. I think I've got Bauer in the Mets. I think that's Cohen's big splash.
Long-term deal, Mets.
Alderson's back, and he built that team on pitching. So you say DeGrom, Bauer, and we get Syndergaard back mid-season. Our offense was the best OPS offense in baseball last year. Let's figure it out. Man, I just have no idea. I mean, that guy's got his 4 or 5 options, and it's going to be an ugly, weird free agency. What website you looking at?
Yeah. That's your 3. I have a pitcher.
Yeah.
Charlie Morton.
Oh. You think he's leaving Tampa?
Kinda.
Okay.
Braves. Very close to Tampa.
Okay.
What do the Braves need? They need a big game pitcher.
Veteran.
They need a playoff pitcher. They're in the hunt. I think they can maybe outspend the Rays on a 1-year, 2-year deal. They love 1-year deals for pitchers in Atlanta, and they need playoff vets. And Atlanta's not that far away from Florida and that, so you can convince them it's pretty quick. Braves, go get Charlie Morton.
Okay.
I like the Jimmy Lytics there. I like that you kept him close.
Close.
I like that you
Charlie Morton does not want to travel. Like, will play, no travel.
I want Charlie to drop it on the table and start doing like Clemens Pettit stuff and be like, hey, I'm joining the team in June, and
I'm only pitching home games.
I'm not doing road
Pettit
trips.
Never did that. Don't lump him in.
Didn't he do one of his Astro years? He did something like that.
I don't.
Just the Clemens stuff blinded
steroids?
me.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it when he came to the
Back to the Yanks. Yeah, I thought he did it 1 year. There. Maybe just
Clemens got like a horrible rap for that.
Right.
Everyone likes Andy, so
well, yeah. Our moms.
Do they?
Our moms want to. Fuck
I don't
him.
like Andy
Trevor
Pettit.
doesn't like him.
why don't you like Andy Pettit?
Great pickoff move. Well, he actually handled the steroid controversy better than anyone. He's actually the gold standard for it because all he said was, I was trying to get back to my team, and people forgave him.
Yeah, it was just HGH.
Yeah, so I don't like him. But anyways, I only
That's
gave
the
2.
rudest
Jen.
thing you've said on the whole show.
What's that?
Juiced.
I don't know him that well, so he hasn't had a chance to get back in my good graces.
We'll get him on.
I'm not going to give a specific player because Jimmy already made my relievers count as 2 for some reason. But I will say the one team that is going to overpay for starting pitchers, and so it's going to be a destination for guys to go to.
Okay.
The Angels, like they have to have starters. Like they are getting so much shit for having Mike Trout not making the playoffs.
Did they hire a new GM yet?
I don't think so.
Because
Eventually, they have to.
I don't think a new
get
GM's going to come in and be like. I think a new GM's going to come in and feel it out.
Oh,
and
I
then
disagree.
But it's not the GM though. Artie Moreno's very hands on. I think he knows that he has to do something. They got another big wig coming in, Cohen. Like this is a thing for these guys. They're going to want to compete. He doesn't want to be the laughing stock of, like I think we played that clip. I think he was with Trump. And Trump was saying like, "Oh, how are the Angels are doing so well," or something like that. And he's like, "Actually, we're not doing that well." That's embarrassing for him, dude. They're going to go out and overpay some pitchers, and maybe that's a fit for Bauer.
They're going to go get Stroman, and it's not going to work out. And I mean, that seems as big.
It's a spot for Bauer too.
Yeah,
it's a spot for Bauer to land.
But that would be that would work out. I think Bauer's going to continue to dominate. But Stroman going to the Angels and it not working out that's just the Angels' game plan. I mean, that is then they got Stroman, Trout, and Rendon, and they still can't win. I mean, if that doesn't make sense in your head movies right now.
Yeah.
I think Stroman to the Yankees is something they're going to think about.
0.
Yanks don't have money.
0.
You know that.
And they don't like him. Cashman publicly said, we don't like him.
Yeah, okay.
Stroman or Bauer ends up on the Angels. I'll say that. Hot take, Jake.
Charlie Morton could end up on the Angels. I mean, they're going to be going after
Tampa.
Guys.
Direct flights to Tampa from Anaheim Airport. My last one is another one of the big free agents. We haven't mentioned him yet in our predictions. Springer. There's been a lot of Mets rumors. I think there's one team that's a layup. Trev, you start mentioning financials. I think it makes sense for the team and for George. And I think he stays close. How about up the road to the Texas Rangers? We've been saying this team doesn't have an identity. What are they doing? We went to the stadium. They've still got this giant, colossal stadium where they're starting to let in fans. They've got the giant Texas Live is outside of it where they want to pack people in there too. This team has 0 identity.
0.
How about you tack George Springer with Joey Gallo, and at least now you've got a heart of a lineup. You've got to go through a big lefty and a big righty. George can do a little center for you, and then he slides over to the corner.
Then what?
Yeah, that's the problem. Hopefully they clean up some cheap FAs after. And George gets a little more incentive. No state income tax, baby. Instead of those LA teams or those New York teams, stay in Tejas. Go up the road to the Rangers. You stay in the same division, get the big payday, and that team starts to have a little bit of an identity at least.
That's going to play a big, not to get crazy political here, that's going to play a big part in these free agencies. I'm back. Okay. If Biden comes in and implements the tax plan that he wants to do, I mean, you're talking about 60% of your money. Plus, they're proposing a wealth tax in California, where your assets over $30 million get taxed at some clip too. So, I mean, it's just things people have to think about. Same the reason the Blue Jays have trouble getting free agents to go there. Like, they have to pay more taxes there. The travel is different. All of these things come into play. In Texas and Florida and those teams that have small state income taxes, they have advantages to signing guys because of that. So it's, this is definitely something to think about, especially in a year where the money isn't going to be what it was. Like, people are going to be trying to recoup that value that they're losing in these ways, like, signing with a team with a small state income tax.
Yeah.
You don't think Springer to the Mets? Do you have that? Think that has any?
We all have the Mets making one big splash. You're leaning Romuto. I'm leaning Bauer right now. I think that happens.
I don't think
Bauer.
Springer's
I'd like Bauer, Cole.
If the Mets were to
New York,
only get
New York.
Springer, that's not big splashy enough for me. Out of Cohen.
Springer might be the best free agent on the market.
It's pretty splashy, dude.
Nah, you're flashing big money and
A catcher versus like, one of the best outfielders in the game. Like, I think that's.
It's not a knock on Springer. I just think you need to do more than that. Like, Romuto is so much better than everything else at catching position, and you take him away from the Phillies. That's a fucking big move if they do that.
I mean, George, he's got a career 131 OPS plus. The past 2 years have both been over 140. Like,
I'd like him to get both.
World Series MVP, local guy. I mean, Springer's that's a big splash.
Yeah, they need to get some pitching help, battery help. Like, if you just bring Springer, I don't know. That's not like, oh, the Mets did a crazy offseason. Steve Cohen really is different. And then do it for me.
The Springer, and I like Springer a lot.
Me too.
But,
He's really good.
and you do too. But the combination of like his age, it still being the Mets, I know new ownership, new identity, whatever. Go do something good. And like if that's their only big move, I just feel like that goes wrong quick.
Yeah.
Nobody's fault. It's
a
just
little bit
that's
of
what
an
happens
empty
with
sign.
the Mets, and if George Springer's your biggest signing.
I have them going Bauer.
I'm just wrong side of 30 as much as I like him.
I have them going Bauer McCann. I think they miss out on Romuto. They get McCann, who's still got some hitting numbers. McCann feels like a Mets catcher. I'm not trying to be rude to him. Yes, I wasn't, and then I was. But yeah, who's your one big Mets splash, Trev? They got to do something.
I agree with you, Jake, that I think that the smart thing to do for them is to sign McCann and make a splash somewhere else. I agree. I also agree with Jimmy. I think that like it would be like a huge announcement for them, and it's cool to steal a guy intra-division. But the smart thing is to get McCann and then go and get a guy like Springer or a guy like, big free agent starting pitching, really have one of the better rotations in baseball, like for real, like have him really perform that way. I think they could do that if they go out and get a guy like a Bauer. But I don't know. I think Springer fits really well there. But there's not that many like big splashes to be had.
It's true.
So could they do a bunch of little splashes to really help their team? And that's a smart thing to do. I think it'd be really dumb for them to be like, let's put all of our chips on the table for one guy. Like, get your team right. You got to freaking win, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's what's going to be how you set up for long-term for Cohen. Like, people to love him long-term is winning, not to sign a big free agent. That doesn't work. Like, go win.
Yeah,
So I think they're going to be talking about that. Let's go supplement our roster.
My just missed list that, again, haven't seen anywhere, so that's kind of why I liked it, but there's also probably a reason. Marcus Simeone to the Reds. The Reds couldn't hit this year. They got a hole at shortstop. There's been some Didi rumors there because Didi was on the Reds for a little bit. But I kind of like the fit of Simeone better. I think Simeone's got a higher hitting potential. You can spark a couple other of those guys in that lineup. That was my option 3.5.
Yeah. The Mets have also just had outfielders that hit for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change them that much to me.
It's true.
Like, last year they had 3 outfielders that were very, very good. Year before that, they had different 3 outfielders that were really, really good. Year before that, different 3 outfielders, really, really good. So, like, that doesn't change the Mets to me if it's just Springer.
I agree with that.
But does it change
he's
the Mets for Romuto? Does he put them all of a sudden into a World Series contender?
He helps. They haven't had a catcher that can actually be in the lineup in a while. They got rid of Darnell, and that's probably the dumbest move they did. They also could use some guidance with the pitching staff. How many catchers has DeGrom thrown to? How many catchers has like Syndergaard thrown to? Like, yes, I think that gives them an advantage at catching position over the rest of the NL. More than Springer gives them an advantage over the outfield in the NL.
I agree with that.
They've had really good
It's
outfielders.
not a bad thing to ever sign JT Romuto. He's on my hot guys list. Great bod. He works at it. He's
tough.
like, if you could mold a baseball player and how you want his attitude and how you want him to approach the game, and it's JT Romuto. You know you can sign him. You're not going to worry about shit. He's going to go perform. He's the guy. Like, he's a sure thing. Just as, like, I think Springer's a sure thing as well. Like, those two guys, like, to me, like, and they're going to get paid for it. They exemplify what you want in a baseball player.
Like it.
Trust factor is big in these long-term contracts. They want to know they can trust you. You're not going to do something stupid off the field, especially in New York. Now, Romuto for sure. Springer, I think, is the same way. I think he's a pretty chill dude, like not out there doing crazy shit. So they both fit the mold for like a guy that you can safely spend your money on.
Bang. Tweet your Philly relievers at Trevor Plouffe. If you've got a lean one way or the other, we got to know.
They're going to go get like 5 of them. I swear they are.
They need to.
All right, fun game, just because I looked it up. How many different catchers has DeGrom thrown to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in his 7 years as a Met. It's not as crazy as I thought. And I'd love to find someone else to compare it to.
You get 2 catchers a year.
I'm saying 5.
I'd say 7. I'll say
5, Trev.
Yeah.
That's a crazy weird guess.
I'm between 10 and 14. I'll split it. I'll go 12.
11.
I just completely guessed.
2 catchers a year. Somebody gets hurt.
Yeah, it's usually 2 to 3 a year. Who's a comparable pitcher? What years is that? 2014 to 20? Oh, Tanaka.
Bauer.
Let's see. Tanaka's 14 to 20, right?
Think
All
so?
on the same team?
Comparable. Come on, man.
What do you mean?
By
Jesus
guys they've
Christ.
thrown to. Hey, yeah, it was. We all saw what happened, and we're okay. And we're.
That's what like the
okay.
YouTube commenters do
And
nonstop.
we're okay. I broke my chain during
We
this
had to get
episode.
Talking Yanks in here somewhere. We did it.
Always.
6 for Tanaka. And they've had a lot of catchers because they've had years where Gary was completely out. Yeah,
Gary's been
Mets
their
could
guy.
Mets could use a catcher. Like, hey, the next 5 years, this is our guy.
I see what I think. I think Springer and Realmuto are equally impactful. I think for the Mets, Realmuto is more impactful.
Oh, that's what I was saying. So you agree with me?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
But I
Getting
still think
Realmuto is the bigger flex.
I still think if they get Springer, that's your big move. That counts.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Trev,
that's
closing
all.
thoughts?
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything.
We just talked for an hour about it. I think we have some educated guesses, but I'm just warning people out there that this is going to be a different kind of free agent year, and we're going to see a lot of guys. You're like, what? I think we're going to be in February, late January, early February, right before spring training, and we're going to be like, how? There are so many players out there. How is this possible? That's what it's going to be like.
Yeah. The only things I'd say, like, not that I'm saying these will happen, but I think these need to happen, is the Mets need to sign one of the top 4 guys.
Yep.
Bauer, Springer, Realmuto, Stroman. Is that the other guy? I don't even count him. There's someone else we had on that list.
LeMahieu.
DJ, the Mets need to sign one of those guys. The Phillies need to sign a grab bag of relievers, like 3 minimum.
Yeah.
I don't care what level you have them at, but you need 3 guys. Those are only 2 things.
And they are going Realmuto or McCann as well. Like, they're going to get one of those 2 guys.
I think so.
Yeah. What about the Waino and Yachty just like
Angels
coming
need
to the Phillies together?
Be funny. They just can't shake each other.
I would love to see an Artie Moreno, Steve Cohen. Let's put our dick on the table. Who's gonna buy the pitching?
I'd like the Angels to take a year and like collect themselves and not just throw the biggest money at the biggest mistake.
They're splashing.
Yeah.
They're splashing. Angels starting pitcher. Who are the snakes in the grass? I feel like just off the top of my head,
The
like,
Dodgers.
the Dodgers and the Nationals also
Dodgers,
jumped out
dude.
in my head. Like, I feel like the Nationals, they've got a bankroll.
If the Dodgers
don't
do
know.
not bring back Trinan, if they don't just agree to and he likes it there and they come back and it's la-di-da,
A lot of
happy,
Hendrix
happy,
rumors
then
there.
I think they're going to go get Hendrix or some of these Braves relievers.
They are like this. Like, we just won the World Series. We don't really need a lot, but we could go out and be aggressive in a suppressed free agent market and set ourselves up to win 1 more, 2 more, 3 more. Like, they have the chance to go on a run like the Yankees did. I mean, they've already been in the World Series, but I'm talking about winning championships. They have the chance to do that. They can 2-3-peat if they go out and supplement some of the spots.
Let's do a repeat. No one's done that since the year 2000. So we've had a lot of teams that we thought would do it. The Astros.
They're one of the best. I think these Dodgers are one of the best setup teams to do it.
You always say it's the hardest thing to do. The Astros were primed to do it a bunch of years. The Red Sox in 2018 were primed to keep going. They were the best team ever. So I agree with you, Trev, but it's just so hard to do. It's so hard.
They would have to bring in a couple new bodies, and they might. And I think that's part of it.
I think the smart teams are going to be aggressive in a suppressed market. The other teams are going to be dummies, and they're not. And they're going to just because it's clear that the Dodgers have prioritized winning. Like they have. They spent money and they prioritized winning and they won. Yeah. Other teams aren't doing that at the same level the Dodgers are. So I think they're going to be one of the teams that's aggressive and they're going to come out and you're going to be like, holy shit, their roster, just how they got Mookie Betts, they're going to be even better. Like they just continue to find ways to get better when they already have a team that wins 100 games a year. It's
Gavin Lux on the way.
They're the model organization right now. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm. And I think my final thing that I decided I'll lean into this offseason with the veteran bargain guys and the market driving things down. Texas Rangers, get a whole new lineup. Your lineup stunk last year. Go sign Kipnis. Go sign Brantley. Go sign Didi. Go sign guys and give yourself a lineup in any sort of identity. Any.
They're another team like the Angels where I'm like, take a breather. Figure out the plan.
That's what they need the plan to be, is to clean up on some of these cheap veteran bats. Jason Kipnis, our guy, had a nice year. He would bat like fourth for them right now. Like, go change your lineup.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got one for the Dodgers.
Uh-oh. At the buzzer.
Buzzer beater.
JBJ to the Dodgers. They could utilize that guy.
I like the Astros picking him up if they lose Springer.
Oof. He's like one of the, if they got JBJ, you'd be like, man, that is just a tactical move for the Dodgers.
They're pretty solid with outfield defense, though.
They're not going to use him.
They've been using Chris Taylor in center field, bro. Like, they don't want
but
that.
But Chris Taylor also plays second base, and Chris Taylor also
I understand
plays
that, but you don't want
him
playing left field, center field anymore. They don't want that. It almost cost them a World Series.
But Belly and Mookie, they have two options at center field. You don't need three, especially if the third only really does that.
You don't have to play JBJ in center, dude. That's what I'm saying. We talked about the Rays doing that defensive outfield lineup. Like, the Dodgers could easily do that as well.
Why would you get JBJ to not play center field? He's not worth having on your lineup if he's not playing center field.
Because he's going to be suppressed and he's not going to cost anything. That's the thing, is they're going to be able to do
Trev's saying you go
like
super outfield with Mookie, Cody, and JBJ, and they catch everything.
I don't think they're signing JBJ as a defensive replacement for a corner. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You sign JBJ as cheap as he's going to be your center fielder, because that's the only thing he brings to the
other
table.
Teams, but they don't have – the Dodgers have the luxury of taking a Gold Glove.
They can go find someone they can go find someone in AAA that can track down balls in center and platoon him up and down whenever they need a third center fielder.
I'm just saying this is the type of move the Dodgers are going to make. Like, they have a surplus amount of talent. They're just going to like
put JBJ on like the Tigers. I'm like, all right.
If JBJ is going to be that cheap, he'd pick somewhere he's going to like get the play every day. Because he can still play every day.
I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, this is the type of move I'm talking about with the Dodgers. Like they are going to be heavy in the relief market as well. I could see him possibly, like I said, going after. They don't need starting pitching, but they can go after Bauer for a year, and then you're like, what is going on? The Dodgers are too good.
If they want to go get JBJ, they can just go get Marisnik.
Sure, something like that.
For what you're trying to do.
I'm just saying, like, that is a move that I can see them
going to get. Marisnik might pay the Dodgers to be on them team.
To play.
Yeah.
Pay to play.
Yeah.
Brings me back to high school. I'm on the Rangers team hitting stats if you want to get sick later.
No, we got to go.
Trevor Plouffe, thank you.
Thank you.
Patrons.
We
love
see
everyone.
You later. Goodbye. Tell us how dumb we are and what you disagree with.
Jake's really dumb. I'll start. Do-do-do-do-do.